All right, not sure where to start this video. I doubt anyone's gonna watch it. It doesn't matter. It's more like a diary to myself. But over the last few months, approximately 2.5 months or so, that I have been painting kind of day in, day out. I try to paint at least every day to get better. And I've noticed a change in myself. And at first, it was uncomfortable, and now it is very comfortable. And I feel like my only fear is that I feel like I'm getting older. And the reason for this is because I've had this. I'm an animator. I'm a character animator by trade, although I barely do that myself anymore. At work, I'm sort of in management now. But art has been a big part of my life, and this transition to oil painting has been. I love the feeling that it gives me. It's a very selfish thing. I'm not doing it for anything else except for almost like a meditative state of mind that it provides me. But I noticed that as I'm getting hooked on it and trying to do it every day, it's taken over all these other wants and itches that I might have. Like, hey, there's a show I want to watch, or there's a video game I want to play. Like, the use of my free time, which would, like, I never, even as an older person now, I'm in my mid-40s, almost 45, I never saw myself not being like a video game player. I've loved video games ever since I was a kid. I think I've played like one of my first video games when I was like maybe, I don't know, five years old or something like that. It's just been with me. Like, I'm a computer guy, right? I'm a computer nerd, and just always interested in art. I always felt like art and technology just goes together. So I never saw myself as someone who would grow out of it. And even if we're talking about a few months ago, that wouldn't have been the case. But now I find myself kind of growing out of it. And it took a while of me doing the same thing, which I'm talking about painting here. Because every day I try to paint at least one portrait, which on average takes between 1 to 2 hours, usually like an hour and a half. But there's always like planning, what am I gonna, like, I think about it for some part of the day. We're kind of coming up with what should I paint today. I don't have like a big plan or anything, because I'm at this point where I'm just learning. I'm trying to do things enough to get a flow going, get accustomed to paints, brushes, seeing what works for what, where I'm failing, where I'm succeeding. And for the most part, I learn something with each new painting that I do. But none of it is, at this point, it's good, right? Like, at least in my opinion, it's not where I want to be, but it's going to be a long journey. Now, the thought process and the actual process of going in and painting has taught me two things. The first thing, the preparation process, is kind of calming. Like, I'm able to think about it as a secondary thought in my head throughout the day, and it allows me to do research. I might think, all right, today I'm gonna, like, what sci-fi shows did I like as a kid or something? Like, what, it kind of like takes me down memory lane, and I'm trying to pick things that meant something to me or might mean something to me. This kind of like, I'm approaching it with this nostalgic eye. I'm trying to pick things. Usually I'll try to pick things that, or subjects, not things, they're people, but I'll try to pick people to paint that had some sort of impact on me. Or at least that's the way it started, right? And then once I get to a point where I feel like I didn't learn something for the last few paintings, and it does happen sometimes, I will then try to challenge myself. Like, just yesterday I painted someone with glasses on, or sunglasses on. It's very difficult because I still don't know how to do like the really thin lines, at least to keep them straight. And again, last night's painting, I don't think it turned out well, but I guess it was good enough. I faced that fear, right? It was a bit of confidence was needed to do that, to make that decision, to go and paint those glasses. So that is the point number two, that painting has taught me this sense of confidence. This, I don't know, it's a very scary thing. And I know it seems silly, but like, even paint, even canvases, like, everything costs money, right? A canvas is between, like, a cheap one between $1 till you can go to like $20 for one canvas. It doesn't have to be like big, it could be something small. The ones I typically paint on are like $5 a piece. And the paint tubes are very expensive. Little paint tubes like this, you're talking about $28 for a little paint tube, and that could last, I don't know, maybe 20 paintings, maybe more or less, depending how much you use. And I do utilize a few colors, but I'm trying to limit myself to like 3 colors, the primary colors, and I'm trying to mix my own colors, which is a point of learning. But needless to say, it is a costly endeavor. So there's that I'm, and there's brushes and there's, solvents and cleaners and things you need to do to make sure that it's not just the painting process, but the sort of the upkeep of your tools. So all of that kind of ties into this confidence thing. Whenever you sit down to paint, you have to have confidence, or you have to, first you kind of fake it till you make it, that, hey, I'm spending this money, right? It's like every time I'm sitting down, I'm kind of burning through like $20, and I'm doing this almost every night. It got to the point where I decided to, try to look into cheaper avenues, like cheaper panels. And I found solutions where I can, hey, I'm no longer spending $5 on a panel, I'm spending $1 on a panel, but then I have to treat it. I have to prepare it a certain way. Like I have to paint it with a special gesso before I can paint oil paint on it. But it's still cheaper. It takes some more work, but now I'm saving money, right? So going back to my lessons and my takeaways from this exercise is that it kind of fills me with this sense of confidence that even though every painting that I'm doing, every test, every day, what I'm doing starts as a failure, and I really feel scared. Like as I'm painting it, I get this this like dreadful feeling in my heart, and where I want to give up. I'm like, oh man, this is not gonna turn out well. This is not gonna turn out well, and ultimately, I managed to pull it to a place where I'm happy with it, at least to the point where I can stop. My problem, I guess, my biggest problem is that it doesn't typically look like the reference that I'm painting, right? I think I'm far off from that. And I've had people ask me for commissions already, and I'm like, hey, I'm not ready yet. I am not ready to do a commission piece because I will probably not be able to match the look of the certain subject matter, the person, whatever. I'm not there yet. I'm now just learning, kind of like the color theory, matching colors from primary colors, and which brushes to give you whichever effect, and the combination of everything, right? But all together, like all these lessons that I'm learning every day, it's making me really pull away from sitting behind a computer. Aside from work, I used to do work, and then I'll be behind a computer for a couple of more hours, be it working on animations, which I primarily do digitally now, like my own stuff, like personal projects, right, where I find myself drawing on a computer or on an iPad. Or would it be, maybe sitting behind on the couch trying to play a video game or watch TV? And that seemed like something that I enjoyed, like very much so, right? Like it was a really great feeling, and I never seen, like I could never think about my life being in any other way of me enjoying something else. And that within the last 2 months, I'm happy to say, has been sort of crumbling. And I didn't even catch on to it till like the last few days, where I'm like, oh, what should I do? I kind of don't feel like painting. I feel like, I was tired. I think I was working out one day, and it does, like when you're using your hand, even though it's like I'm trying to stay pretty far away from the painting when I'm painting, even holding my arm up, sometimes my shoulder will start kind of get fatigued, especially if I worked out that day. So, I had these decisions to make, like, do I paint or do I not paint, and just kind of relax and go play a video game or watch a show or something. And ultimately, I choose the painting, right? I choose the more difficult route because the payoff is way more beneficial. It is like instant gratification, and it's not from like showing people and people liking your work. It is from the lessons learned immediately, internally, and the confidence supported, I guess, like proven, the decisions made during the process, which is very, very like, the beginning part of the painting process is so iffy. is so not confident. It's all sort of like trial and error. You're kind of going by chance and trusting in the process, and then ultimately ending up at a position where it's, you know, whatever you're doing ends up in a place that you're okay with. But that's kind of where I've been at, and I'm happy about it. I don't know where it's going to take me, because at the same time, I do not wish to. A part of me doesn't want to let go of the person I was before. Doesn't want to grow up in a way. But another part of me feels like I finally found something that's even better, that I can that I see myself growing old with. Like, I see myself painting for the rest of my life. Same as I saw those things for the most, you know, current part of my life, like video games, TV, entertainment type of stuff, you know, computer programming, like all that. That was my realm, and I never felt like I could be or get into something that would interest me even more. But I think I have, and it came as a surprise, and it sort of boiled me slowly. But here we are now. Anyways, it's my little blog update, little journal. Talk to you guys soon.